see that 92.7 go with the flow. Feel your day with us.
Wednesday, the 24th of December 2025 is the morning of the eve of Christmas, like we recorded on the Flow Breakfast Show. Thank you so very much. You're listening to Flow FM 92.7. We say hello to you and thank you for joining us via terrestrial radio. And if you're listening via the World Wide Web, we say hello and welcome. This is the headline news analysis. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. It's a morning to feel proud as a Nigerian because the Super Eagles, defeated Tanzania 2-1 yesterday in the outgoing Africa Cup of Nations. And by the way, we must say I'm Octopus Danielle this morning because your predictions were actually on point and accurate.
And it feels good. It really feels
so
good.
Predicted,
So
the
right?
scoreline.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wait for more predictions.
Let's see. Let's see if I'm on point again.
Why did you predict 2-1? What was going on in your mind when you made that prediction?
To be honest, I didn't necessarily, because I don't watch football, so I wouldn't really. But I just had a lot of confidence in
2-1 is a narrow win.
It is because you predicted 1-0.
Okay.
Dio predicted 2-0.
So in between.
I just kind of played it safe. I would say. I kind of just played it safe.
All right.
You do well with Bet Nigeria.
Now, when you're done, we need to see you at the account section. So I'll bill you for that, okay? Well, this is the headline news analysis where we discuss, debate, and talk about everything we're talking about, and because of trending national headlines, and of course, some of the biggest, right now, and of course, it's a big conversation, not just for Nigerians, and of course, on the continent is the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations. We'll get to talk about that. It's a big story. We cannot. We'll get into all of the other stories much. The governor of Oyo State dropping a bombshell at his media charts organized yesterday, and then other, interesting stories. We'll touch on the headline news analysis. So joining the conversation is pretty simple. Give us a call on 0807-777-9927. Just observe the simple basic rule that we have on the headline news analysis, which are...
Please, we do not give in to any logical fallacies. Every news story that you bring up that you want to talk about and make comments about must be from verifiable sources. And also, you have a space of 60 seconds, 1 minute to make your comment, so as to allow other people make their comments as well. You can call us on 0807-777-9927. You can either call or you can send a message to WhatsApp as well. We're streaming live on YouTube and on Facebook at 4FM927, but that shouldn't stop you from following us across our social media platforms. It's at 4FM927 across all of them. The views to be expressed is not in any way the position of 4FM 92.7 or the staff therein, but is expressed by our in-house analyst, Nicholas Uwerunonye, and all the individuals who would make comments on the show this morning.
All right, let's pick it up. Our first conversation, the win for Nigeria. How did that make you feel, Nicholas? Because you were skeptical about the Super Eagles, and even if a lot of Nigerians were, start of the game, I saw the game 45, 90 minutes plus 3 to the end of the game. There's a whole lot to talk about. The boys' performance, the refereeing, the officiating, and the pressure. And of course, you did hear what Coach Guchela did say to his boys, that yes, you guys played, but why did you drop the tempo at the second half? It was a narrow win for the Super Eagles yesterday, if you saw the game.
Yeah, of course I saw the game. And of course, how I feel, my mood hasn't changed from what it was yesterday. I did. It's just that there is that spirit that is sadly lacking, in this crop of players. Now let me break it down for you. You see, all those guys up front are scorers. They're attackers and scorers. But look at the way we are bungling chances to score. Just look at it. Look at what should have been clinical finishes from Osimhen, been squandered. You see so many instances. Yes, you have to give it to Tanzania. They were putting a lot of men in the box.
Oh, yes.
It's like packing the box. So definitely, when you fire shots, it's going to, you have deflections. And that was what, was stopping most of those goals that should have gone in. But all the same, it's not that we haven't had players that are so, I mean, opponents that are so tough like that, who are broken down at the end of the day. I can assure you, if they have been if that team had been clinical, by second goal, Tanzania would have been finished completely. But because it was just one goal, they were holding on and hitting on the counter. And look at how our defenses was, how, Nwabali especially.
The goalkeeping was poor.
It was disastrous. You see, for a very long time, I have always, stood on the side of, Nwabali. I've always supported him against the uproar and criticism. And I have my reasons for that. Because I know that, you see, the West African sub-region, we are so poor in goalkeeping. The goalkeeping culture is very, very poor. I learned this firsthand from Aliu Muzambilu, a former goalkeeper for 3SC, and later National, and later, I end up a goalkeeper trainer, one of the most rugged goalkeeping training expert I've ever seen. He told me this because, of his trips outside Nigeria. When you go to North Africa, you see the way they train goalkeepers. That it's nothing like what we do here. So I know we always have a problem with goalkeeping because it's not part of our culture. We train players, but in terms of goalkeeping, we are so poor at it. So when you have Nwabali come up, with the kind of set of advantages he has height, he has physique, he's very intimidating in the goal. Then he has good kick, he has good throws. You understand? So he could join up front. It's like when you have a player that is, a goalkeeper that is good at his feet. It's like playing 12 against 11. If you know how to utilize that kind of, So that is why most times these days, you see a lot of, European teams go for goalkeepers who can use their leg and can do through, that can launch attack from the back. You understand? So that was what we have. So for very long time, you understand, we've not had that kind of an advantage. The only time we've had something close to that was with Vincent Inyama. You understand? Then, of course, the disaster of Ezoho, And before you come up with a goalkeeper that can, it will take a while. So, initially, people were talking about Okoye. Okoye's is fantastic, but I haven't seen him, qualify in this department. So, that is, but for yesterday, I think it's high time Eric Shell, start looking at other alternatives, seriously considering alternatives, because that guy is going to put us in trouble if care is not taken. Then that is on the one hand. Then, of course, the arrangement of that defense, what used to work for him at the Nations Cup was he was in full control of the defenses. He could marshal, he could talk to any one of them. He could look them in the eye and tell them, this is where I want you to stay and things like that. But that was sadly lacking yesterday. It was lacking. It was more or less like he was a passenger. So then between Bassi and Ajayi, they couldn't coordinate that defense very well. Each time they hit us on the counter, our guys are flat-footed.
Honestly.
Completely flat-footed. And look at that goal. That goal was Nwabali's fault. I don't care what anybody says. It was Nwabali's fault. He assumed that the guy was offside. That is...
And then you stay put on the pole.
Stay put, yeah.
You stay put.
He should have attacked
Look at the Tanzania goalkeeper. For every time the Super Eagles came close to the post, he was out there.
He was out there. He should have challenged the goal. Even
honestly,
he challenged the ball, the aerial, ball. But he didn't. He just stood there like one Okon. Something like that. So it was very, very...
How do you rate the performance of Alex Iwobi as well, too? He lost so many passes. He couldn't make... No. I counted four passes that were incomplete from Alex Iwobi yesterday. It was a disastrous performance from him.
No, it wasn't.
No, for me, he was.
He was the creative engine.
Really?
Oh, yes.
What do you say to Simon?
Moses Simon. No. Simon you came in as a playmaker. From the wing, just
of course he played from the flank.
From the flank. He came in there, to see if he could wangle his way through. Like I said, they put a lot of men there, so you need somebody that can dribble very well.
Honestly,
dribble very well and perhaps cause a penalty. You understand? So, and he did that job fairly well. Because considering the time he came in, it was the second half. But Iwobi, like you said, Iwobi was a creative person. That is the only creative player we have. You see, what I mean is this. Everything must have something like Okocha, if you remember. Okocha or Kanu Nwankwo up front. These are people, they can have a chance, they will create, from half a chance, they create a whole lot of damage. You understand? People that can marshal the midfield. we don't have that mode of players anymore. Etimesi, Samson Siasia, or Kocha. You don't have those kind of players anymore. What's the name of this guy? He was from Eaglet to Super Eagles. Oruma.
Wilson Oruma.
Wilson Oruma. We don't have that kind of player anymore. And the guy that could have stepped in was the Fetobore, this Fetobore guy. I've forgotten the guy. It was a midfielder. He could have played that kind of a game too, but he didn't quite mature into that. We have a go?
No, we don't.
Okay. So that is the thing. You see, that was why they have to bring Iwobi back to play that role. He's about the most creative person. Yes, you might say, compared to the ones we've always had, the creative midfielders we always had, they are far better than him.
Mikel,
Mikel, but the fact is, we make do with what we have.
Okay. Nicholas, going into the next game, Tanzania played against Uganda,
and
then
Who
it
are
was
playing against next?
Tunisia.
Tunisia. We're playing against Tunisia. Did you see the game against
I
game
only
between
saw the
Tunisia and Uganda?
Yeah, I knew.
Fantastic play from Tunisians, from the Tunis boys. But again, what do Eric Chell need to correct? Coming from yesterday's game and going into the next game with Tunisia.
I think the problem is the mindset of those boys. You see, look, those guys individually are good.
Very.
Very good. They are doing well.
Because none of them is being benched at their club sides.
Yeah, exactly.
If you look
but the problem is when they come to the Super Eagles, they don't bring their A game. You see it like they are playing set. This kind of
the normal street football.
Street football. That's what I see them play. You see, I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of addicted to the past. But you see, maybe it has to do with the kind of rapprochement I've had with ex-internationals, Stephen Keshi, Samson Siasia. I'm talking of, I've had one-on-one with them. They tell me what happens in the camp. They tell me...
You saw the times Danielle Amokachi was playing and these guys played with all of their hearts.
You see, there was something that, Stephen Keshi told me once in Abuja after a training at the Packet B, the extension of the National Stadium, Moshood Abiola National Stadium, in Abuja. We finished the training and we went to the bus. Then we sat down. It was after the aftermath of 2013 when he won that thing. I told him, I said, what did you do differently? What made those boys come out? He just laughed. He said he went into that is after before they played Cote d'Ivoire, that decisive game. He said all he simply did was to talk to them and told them that, look, you guys are chicken. Do you know what it means to wear the Super Eagles? He said it means that, look, we die here. That's what it means. That if you don't have the heart, you don't step up to play in the Super Eagles. You don't. You understand? You see, when you wear that jersey, it's not about whether they give you money or anything. The fear, then there was something he added. He said maybe the Lagos crowd is another thing.
Maybe.
You can't afford to disappoint them.
Let's take a call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Shitta. I'm calling from Zango.
Shitty from Zango. Please go ahead with your comment.
Yes, Super good performance today is not that so good. But to me, during the first match, I expected something like that. But what played out yesterday is that if you look at the Tanzania team, you can be sure that this team, they've been playing together for a while. And you can see the activity is more of collective effort than individual, performances. And tactically, their coach is sound because they believe that they want to use counter-attack. And they are passing Super Eagles one side. And they are leaving one man at the flank, long pass. So all those things play out yesterday. In fact, we won that yesterday match based on our players' individual ability. Because if Lukman did not score that goal, because it's a difficult goal to score. So definitely it's either with you or the beat us. So what I want to just advise our coach is that Super Eagles is still experimenting. Because even as at now, we can't say this is our first 11. So still experimenting and playing together with these guys. You can see even sometimes they meet parties. But that does not mean that the momentum of our match will not change as they are progressing. So let's just, support them. I expect a better match against their, next,
against Tunisia.
Yeah, thank you very much. That is
Thank
my
you.
comment this morning.
Thank you very much. Nicholas, how do you rate the officiating of the game yesterday?
There was something he said about Tanzania. You see, their attack, they have 3 to 4 different choices. We have only one, a point man at every point. Osimhen at every point. You see, like he rightly pointed out, it was the brinkmanship of Lookman that made the difference. That's
honestly.
all. And that is all we had. So we were expecting that, if it has to be by individual talent, give us a convincing win. So, it goes back to that thing I was saying that, in those days, what Keshi will tell you that is that when you step up, you see, if you don't have the heart of a lion, you can't come into Super Eagles. You understand? Like I said, it's the crowd. They've lost that Super Eagles that you are seeing. They don't have the fear of Nigerian fans. It's as simple. They are inured from all this because after all, they are on Twitter. They are on, so that fear of what will happen is not there anymore. Now, yes, some might say, should they be browbeaten and things like that? But that's not what we are saying. We are saying that, look, where you are coming here, this is all we have. That's the only heritage that every Nigerian holds dearly. So if you are going to wear that uniform, that jersey, then you must bring your A game to it. It's as simple as if you can't stay in your club, play whatever, make millions,
make your money,
and don't bother come here. You understand? So perhaps it goes largely to what Mikel Obi identified too, that you see, after living in a foreign country, played in their league, they wouldn't give you their national team jersey, and you now decide, okay, at the twilight of your career, you want to play for. You see, that has always been the problem, and I think it's at the root of it. We must consciously look locally, because you see, when somebody leaves Nigeria to go and play abroad, play in lucrative league, that natural thing that he wants to represent his country it's organic. It's not artificial. It's not about just any laurels. It's about that I want to make a change. So the moment you don't have that, then you don't really have a team. You don't have a national team. That is the thing. So that is why England, of course, we usually think it's racist thing and things like that. No, it's not. When England decides, case of Fashanu and the rest of them, they, at the end of the day, drop them. Yes, we often think it's racism. I don't think so. I think they have a way of measuring whether this person is worthy of wearing
the England jersey. Yeah.
Every country
which they hold so
exactly
dear to their heart. Yeah.
When Nigeria defeated Cameroon last AFCON, I don't know whether you read what Eto Fields told them. He told the player, he said, you are not at fault, I don't blame you. You guys are young. You don't know what it means to represent Cameroon. That you see, we call ourselves lions, not because we are lions, but we have the heart of a lion. So when you go on the pitch, it's like going to war. You go with the mindset that you might not come back. Oh yeah, that is. You see, look, it might sound a bit fanatical or things like that, but you see, it is putting you in the frame of what it means to play for a team. And that is what it's like. These guys are having a good time. After everything, you see them carry music and start playing.
All right.
Well,
we hope that they will take to all of these advice, and then of course the coach will look into so many contributions. Then the officiating, how do you rate that on the scale of 1 to 10 yesterday?
Yes, I could have said much about it, but you see, the thing is, we have to play well first now. Maybe 1 or 2 calls there about that goal. That goal that Osimhen scored, I think it was a goal. But again, I'm not an expert. And of course the man listened to VAR. There was a VAR review.
There was a VAR review of it, and of course it wasn't a goal.
It wasn't a goal.
Cancelled.
So
but again, it is what it is. It's football. Anything they say can happen. We wish the Super Eagles all the very best. Let's go out there and support them. And of course, we'll hear more from our correspondent. We'll get to talk to him more today, and then get to hear what the feelers are and then the reaction of the team, and then what the team feels like. We get to speak to him today on a custom report at 5:15. Let's move on to another story. Let's go to Oyo State.
Let's go to Oyo State and get to hear all of the things the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, said. But before we get into that, let's take this call real quick. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What is your name and where are you calling from, please?
Yeah, this is Mayor from Busy.
All right, Mayor, good morning to you. Super Eagles. All right, I know that's your interest. They won. How do you see the game?
Well, for me, I think Mr. Nicholas has said it all. You see that in one basket, I think we have moved past him. You know, I've asked the question when the release was written, that why Maduka Okoye wasn't called up. But they say it was for the tactical reason and personal reasons. But for me, I think that game, and for similar, I think he should calm down. The goal will come. If he continues the way he is too anxious to score the goal, I think he will also struggle as he struggled the last outcome. So, and our win backs, they are not trying their best. That is the reason why we missed the likes of the leadership of Ekong and this young guy, Frederick. Because Sanusi was not at all. That goal has been avoided, but it is what it is. Let's just hope and see what they will do in the next, because Danielle that is not watching football, predicting 2-1 and eventually we watch 2-1. It's very, very surprised. I just want to advise that to start watching. Maybe start from the AFCON. Maybe we have interest in watching football.
Noted, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, what a very sweet one coming from Mayor. And then you were just telling you, take a seat and observe and watch the game of football.
Watch football.
Yes, okay. All right.
Well,
then.
we're going to see the Nigerian-Tunisia game together then.
All right.
All right.
I mean, I can do that, of course. So, well, a couple of things were said during this media chat. One of them being that he turned down a request from President Bola Tinubu to help coordinate the All Progressives Congress in Oyo State, citing his loyalty to the People's Democratic Party. And this request arose during a conversation over the nomination of a minister from Oyo State in the federal cabinet that he declined, and stressing that he could not act against his party.
Yeah, that wasn't the only thing he mentioned. He equally said he made a, what Dio earlier said, a bombshell.
Yeah, he dropped a bombshell as well.
Yeah, about Wike telling the president that he's going to hold down the party ahead of 2027, and that he came out and confronted Wike and told him that this wasn't part of what we agreed to discuss with the president. How can you make that kind of assurance against your own party? You see, if this further gives arsenal to those arguments that Wike has been all about simply because he's working for Tinubu. And what he's doing essentially is to cripple PDP. You understand?
What would be his game then?
Of course, number one, he gets to avenge, whatever slight he believes the PDP has done to him. That's number one. Two, justify and cement his political future with the president. You understand? Probably ahead of 2031, he could be considered from, as a vice president. Those are some of the, those are the permutations. This is the way the average Nigerian politician thinks. It's just about him, his ambition, what he's going to be in future. It's never about party building or about building the country. No, it's never been that. You understand? In fact, we have very few, exceptionally few individuals that have that kind of a mindset.
Sorry to bother you, Nicholas.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Adedayo and I'm calling from Pasadena.
Okay.
All right, Tim Lane, please go ahead.
Thank you. You guys have a good look at it. Nicholas,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a difference with you this morning on Seyi Makinde issue.
Okay.
Yes. 2023, PDP themselves zone it, North 8 years, South 8 years. Now, when it comes to the time of the election, so I guess with Peter Obi, because he was staying and standing with Wike to make sure the ticket came here, it would have been Southwest and South-South as here. But he went to Labour. But that's another story. Now, Wike did the right thing by standing for the South. If you look at the antecedent of Makinde, he was ANPP, not favorable, he crossed. He has already accomplished this. So what he's saying, to me personally, is not relevant to me. Because it's all about he has spent his own 8 years now, his second term, so let him go. We want to correct these things. PDP themselves make that zoning arrangement. So Wike is doing the right thing. He should have stayed. Obi should have stayed and market. He should have stayed and fight for it instead of him doing Wike now. Wike did the right thing, though. Thank you.
All right.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. Well, you see, I quite get your point, and you have a right to make that observation. You see, but I think that you haven't taken a holistic look at what actually played out. You understand? Yes, it appeared as if Wike wanted the thing to be zoned to the south. Even Atiku wanted it. But Atiku gave a condition. He said, look, the Southeast has been very, very steadfast with PDP since from the inception of, the coming of our democratization since 1999. The Southeast has been steadfast. So if we are going to zone it, it should be micro-zoned to
the Southeast.
To the Southeast. Because South has had their, they've had their hay, their time. Mm-hmm. They've rolled in the hay for 5 years as the president. Good luck, Jonathan. So, and as the vice president too, good luck, Jonathan. That the Southeast has not had anything. So this is the time to reward them.
Except for Senate presidency and Senate presidency.
Exactly. So if you are going to do that,
and then vice presidency,
then he won't contest at all. Atiku did that knowing full well that the intention of Wike was to run for presidency. That was it. And okay, when Atiku eventually won, can Wike deny that he wasn't lobbying to be the vice president to Atiku? Mm-hmm. Was that not the real issue? So you see, look, it goes back to what I said. You see, your average Nigerian politician is a very selfish individual. Now, you see, I will take you back to, there was something Olisa May 2 said to the body of, the board of
the PDP.
Mm-hmm. At that time. He said, look, there are some candidates that can't win primaries. Yes, but they can win election. One of them is late Muhammadu Buhari, because he has a mass appeal. Another individual is Peter Obi. He will not win. He can't win primaries because he will not do what most politicians will do. He's not going to bribe delegates. He won't. Same with Buhari. They won't. They don't do that. Same with Obasanjo. You have to do the dirty job for them. But when it comes to winning on mass appeal, that everybody goes to the field, these are people that will deliver votes for you. So that was what Metu told them, that it is better if we want to retain this, if we want to win this election, if we want the party to win, this is where to go. But did they listen? They allowed Wike to run the whole place, run the whole show. And the man, knowing full well that the man will compromise all the delegates, he left the place. So it's not about people's, and I keep on saying it, that look, in terms of political party, we don't even have a functional political party in Nigeria. All we have is SPV, special purpose vehicle. That is what it is. You understand? We're not saying it's bad. This is our own peculiar kind of politics. It's as simple as that. So that's my take on that.
0807 777 0807 777 9927. Our time is fast spent.
Time is fast spent. Let's just have your closing statements, and then we'll just round off on that.
Yeah. My closing statement, I want to make a very strong appeal to Eric Shell. I don't know what he has to do, but he has to put those guys in the mood of what the Super Eagles used to be in those days. That is just it. I think it's up here in the head.
Do you think Eric Chelle understands what the Super Eagles used to be? Even
no, as a coach,
having not played for the Super Eagles.
No. It's very simple. Mm-hmm. Every coach understands what motivation is. Mm-hmm. That is what we are saying.
Look, would you say that against Eric took not Eric, pardon me, Thomas Tuchel of England, the coach of England. He came into England. They've not lost a game.
You see, that is the thing. The man made a difference.
All right. Our time is fast spent.
He made a difference. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining us on the Headline News Analysis for today. We'll pick it up tomorrow. It looks like Mr. Nicholas still had a lot of things to say. Yeah. We'll pick it up tomorrow on Christmas Day, right here at FM 92.7. Absolutely. The views expressed is not in any way the position of Flow FM 92.7 or the staff therein, but is expressed by our in-house analyst, Nicholas Uwerunonye, and the individuals who called. I'm Danielle Shitta-Bey.
And I am Adedayo, Adeyemi.
Have a fantastic day.
You asked, we listened. Flow FM is switching things up. Breaking news just the way you like it. Say hello to the world in 92 seconds. Yes, 92 seconds news, your quick dive into the biggest stories every 2 hours between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. We'll bring you everything from breaking headlines, global events, local happenings to sport highlights. Another first from your non-stop hit radio station. Stay tuned, stay informed, stay ahead. Flow FM.